The countdown to 400 videos is really on. And it's not about the number of videos at all. And today I really did feel the sense that this type of conversation with myself is over, at least on the topic of extrapolating things to mental health, because I have talked myself out of the mental health system to this point, and I've created this video thing that is a type of passive advocacy, and I remember talking to myself about creating this as passive advocacy so I can just move on to something else. And I'm feeling that today. And I might still talk to myself on video, but I do want to move on to something else. Maybe making shorter, better quality videos than rambling on, which was an important part of the process, but I don't know how important it is anymore. And the self-dialogue really has been my one thing. And I talked about how I read on Steve Pavlina's website that sometimes it's good to have a one thing, and I read that on his website after I'd already been doing this for probably 8 months. So it really has been my one thing. And in terms of wrapping up my one thing, since I've been a little bit under the weather these last few days, I've spent time at home organizing my videos. So I made a Google Sheets spreadsheet and put all the video dates in, as well as the time length, and then all the links to the audio videos, and then a separate one with all the links to all the video videos. And this is helpful right now because I'm backing up all my videos from iCloud onto an external hard drive, and the easiest way to find the right video in the proper order is to use the time. So there was a reason for all of that, not just being really organized, because I'm not that organized with it. But I saw that it would be helpful, so I did that. Plus, that way I have all the links when I decide to post them to my blog or something. I can just go into the spreadsheet and look for the link, as opposed to going into YouTube, which is kind of chaotic with so many videos in there and so many different dates. So now it's organized for possibly sharing it. So even though I'll wrap up the conversation with myself, perhaps I'll share about sharing it at some point. I don't know when. There are a few things happening in the next couple weeks where my life could really change in one direction or another, and I'm not sure which way to go. One way could be a job, and that would take a lot of my time, so that would be a reason to not talk to myself so much. I won't have the time. And the other is just creating the business, which I could still do anyway. So I'll see what happens with the job thing, and then from there, perhaps submit my business name after that and keep going with that process. Because I need to create something else. And yeah, I'm just thinking of moving into creating other things. I'm not sure what my one thing will be next year, starting September 11th. I was thinking of practicing writing, getting better at that, because I'm not great at writing. I can say a lot of things, but it's difficult for me to put it in something linear and logical, but that will be helpful in creating a business. So learning to write in a linear, logical way could actually be helpful to get my brain oriented around that, which would extrapolate to being able to create a business, maybe with no outside help, because right now I feel like I would need help to even know where to start. Not because I don't have ideas, but it's difficult to make a stepwise process and then work on it. And I feel like creating that list of all my videos and now backing up all the videos, it has actually been helpful to get my brain in this linear mode. I've done all these videos in 720p, which isn't even the greatest quality, so it would be nice to create some 4K videos, which would require being a lot shorter. And I've been backing up all my videos, and I really hope that my family has unlimited internet. I think they do. Their data could get throttled back, but that's a risk I'm going to have to take because they're away right now, so at least I'm not disrupting their bandwidth. Hopefully if they get a huge bill, they can get a one-time pardon, or even if I have to pay it, considering I've invested probably 1,000 hours in this project, it's good to have it properly backed up. I just ordered a 2 terabyte hard drive on Amazon so I can double back it up on the hard drives and then also upload it as a complete project to iCloud, so it's always organized there if I ever have to put it on a hard drive again. So these are all really finicky things that I didn't imagine I would be doing, but it's important to protect what I've created. And I actually bought the 3-year data protection warranty for $20. Usually I don't do that, and last time I got an external hard drive, I got it at Costco, and before I left for California, it actually stopped working. And when I got back, I was inquiring into how much it would cost to recover the data, and it's between $300 and $500. And I haven't had that drive for 3 years. I might have had it for 1.5 or 2. Highly doubt it's been 3. So yeah, I think that's worth the protection there. And I don't have that protection on my current hard drive, so ordering that is helpful. So yeah, just learning to protect what I've created, and also if I do decide to share it, one way to share it would be to send it out on a hard drive instead of giving someone all the links to the internet files, or sending it on a hard drive if somebody wants to create a shorter documentary or something. I don't know. I met someone last year who was interested in making a documentary with me, and then I said I wasn't ready because I wasn't ready with the message I wanted to share, which was something beyond the system. So now I have 170 hours probably of video of myself talking myself out of the system, which might make a good documentary. But to me, this is just a new beginning, and that's what I want to go into next, is what's next now that I've accomplished this huge goal of talking myself out of the system. And I feel like I'm not satisfied with sharing at this point, because then it could turn into a life of more of this conversation, whereas I'd like to move into creating other things first, so then I'm more immersed in that, and I may choose to engage with the results of sharing this or not. I don't know, because one of the themes of what I've been talking about with myself is, well, what else could it be? And I've made a lot of meaning around that, yet I haven't fully embodied that. I've embodied being off the meds, but lately I've felt a little bit low, being in a situation that isn't that bad, really. My brain is just struggling with certain aspects, and I've been watching a few of other people's videos to get some inspiration and motivation. I watched a few videos by Tim Ferriss, the 4-Hour Workweek guy, and looking into those types of things instead of always watching videos about mental health, like the Zendo Project or different things. And maybe exploring different avenues will lead me back to feeling passionate about this conversation related to mental health, but maybe not. I don't know. I really want to explore that though before I share anything, because a lot of the point of making other meaning was, well, this means it's creative energy. So the creative energy helped me create my way out of being a chronic mental patient, but now will it be there to create something beyond that? Which, had I never been labeled as a chronic mental patient, and that energy, if I was able to integrate it somehow, perhaps I would have just been creating all this time. So I have a lot of time to make up for in terms of lost creating. And my goal has been to create my way out of the mental health system, and I've done that. So I can't even remember if I mentioned that I'm going to buy FL Studio, which is a music making program for my iPhone, which is around $20 or something, and just see if that's something I'm interested in, because I'm curious about getting into that, which would be a reason to buy a better computer. But if I'm not that into it, then maybe I can wait to buy a better computer. Another reason to have a better computer is for video editing, but so far I'm able to do that on my phone. So I don't know if I need a new computer or just a new phone. So waiting for the announcement of the new iPhone, waiting to back up all this stuff that I've created, create the last few videos of this, and maybe still do videos. But I noticed when I was talking about some of those neuroplasticity and flow and perception and creativity and da-da-da things, I was referring to mental health, and I could do that for the rest of my life. And I have 100 pages of notes that I could go into and extrapolate like that, but I feel like I've done enough of that. Perhaps I can use some of the things that I extrapolated to start writing or something, or maybe I don't even want to write based on that, and maybe none of it's important. I read through my last notebook of notes that I was going to type up, but now I feel like maybe I won't even bother. Maybe it's really time to move into the next thing, and it feels good to be backing up this creation and really thinking about what's next. So I feel my passive advocacy is almost done, and the good thing about organizing all my videos is I did find about 3 videos that were missing from my super long video playlist, which meant that my 300th video celebration video turned out to actually be video 303. So I wouldn't have known that though. And I also found a few audios that I never turned into audio videos and things like that. So now it feels like it's complete and there's less missing. And yeah, so that's good. And something I was reminded of while watching Tim Ferriss's videos was the importance of gratitude. And I feel like the flavor of my videos is intense and bordering on angry, and it's not really the perspective of gratitude, which I actually was really grateful the 5 years in my process in the mental health system until I had that really bad experience in April of 2016. And I shared my story within the system and was super grateful. So my videos don't actually reflect the majority of my journey, in that I wasn't seemingly against the system, and I'm not against the system really. There's so many great activities and supports. I'm mainly against how people are pharmaceuticalized and don't have an active say in that process, especially in the psych ward. So all of my anger actually came out of that one experience, and that was part of the point, that there's all this great psychosocial support and recovery and housing and clubhouses and wonderful stuff, and all of that can be wiped out in one psych ward visit in people that are lucky enough to do really well within the psychosocial supports and the bit of medication. And so if that could happen to me, and I was doing really well working in peer support and everything, then what about the people that don't even stand a chance? And then they really believe that it's worsening of their illness and they're becoming more deficient and defective over time, like we're told. And I knew for me that wasn't the case. And so I can feel like it's not the case for other people, but it's the way we're received and treated and over-medicated and treated like experimental monkeys, pretty much, and then blaming it on the monkeys that the monkeys aren't doing well when we're being experimented on. Not literally, but it's not an exact science, and we know in our hearts what's right for us, and we're not listened to. So we learn not to listen to ourselves. So it's important to find our voice and really listen to ourselves and understand ourselves and advocate for ourselves and talk with ourselves and wonder about ourselves and learn about ourselves. And so yeah, it seems angry, but I was mainly angry because I did have it so amazing, and it can be destroyed so easily by one doctor who is not collaborative, ignorant, doesn't listen. And this is happening to people all the time, every day. Lives are being destroyed by that way of approaching people who, even in the worst states, have a really good idea of what is helpful and what's not. But we're not being listened to. And the way it's set up is that we don't have to be listened to. And that is just wrong. So see, here I am ranting again. I've programmed my brain to be very capable of ranting on demand about everything that is wrong. Yet at the same time, this process is what helped me move away from the wrongness and hopefully prevent that from happening to me in the future. So that's done. That would be like a person who has recovered from cancer continuing to try to fight cancer when they've recovered. So I don't want to keep talking about this. It's so easy for me to do. So yeah, case in point. And I don't want to make this video too long. I'll make another one and hopefully talk about some possibilities for the next year.